Hi, beautiful souls, and welcome to my channel. I'm Sissy, life coach, motivational speaker, and today I would like to speak about endings and letting go of what does not serve anymore. Okay, so we're at the end of 2025. It's been a very eventful year spiritually, right? In the economy as well, in politics as well. It's been very eventful. A lot of things have happened, a lot of things that have made us fearful about life, that have made us question life. You understand? And we are in the point where now we are at a awakening, a spiritual awakening. So this year has been eventful because a lot of things have happened, okay? Both on the collective side of things and both on the individual side of things. As individuals in this world, right, we have experienced a lot of pain, a lot of frustration, a lot of things that are happening that have caused us to actually think that maybe the next year is going to be even more difficult. Each year goes by, we experience different events in our life that make us wonder more about life. Okay, what is life? Why am I here? What's the purpose of life? You understand? These are the things that we always ask ourselves. Now, letting go is important. For you to start something new, it's about letting go, right? So today we're going to talk about spiritually letting go as well. Not only letting go of things mundanely in life that don't serve you anymore, but spiritually letting go of things that actually block your happiness, your success, your wellness in this reality. Okay, as I said, 2025 has been very challenging for most people. Right, 2025 has carried a lot of emotional intensity for many people, uncertainty, transitions, identity shifts as well, financial pressures, okay, as the world economies become more difficult to navigate, spiritual awakening symptoms as well. A lot of people have awoken at this time as well. In the last 5 years, they have awoken to who they truly are, questioning their belief systems as well. Right now, and we also have global instability, some wars that have taken place in this year from last year. Okay, so now 2025 is about to close the year of the snake, as I say. Right, so you enter 2026 with a clean energy. Clarity, grounding is very essential. Letting go, it's important. Letting go becomes a skill because as human beings, we tend to hold on to things that don't serve us anymore. We tend to hold on to things that don't add value to our lives anymore. So today we're going to talk about that, letting go. As we're entering the new year in the next 6 days or so, because on Thursday, it's going to be the 1st of January 2026. Right, so let's look at it more closely. Close the energetic loops of 2025. How do we do that? Loose ends from the past year create energetic noise, as they call it, which becomes anxiety. Anxiety for the future. Remember that anxiety is based on the future, not knowing what's going to happen, not being aware of what's going to happen, being afraid of the unknown causes anxiety. Now, with all the things that happen in the world so far in 2025, on a collective level and also individually, we also worried and concerned what does the next year hold for us as human beings as things change, as our technology explodes, as we actually go more into AI technology and stuff like that. People are talking about losing their jobs and stuff like that, causing anxiety because it's all based on the unknown, fear of the unknown. And this new year that's coming carries a lot of changes. So the question is, are you going to be living in security, being secure and know that all is well no matter whatever happens? Because certain things we cannot individually change. We can only individually change what's happening in our personal lives, but we cannot change what's globally happening because there is a consensus for the technology expansion. So with AI taking over and more advanced technologies coming through. So you will write down in your journal to try and release the anxiety of the unknown for 2026 as we are reaching the end of the year by next week, Thursday, which is actually the first. So that means Wednesday is the last day of 2025. Now, it's important to master the art of letting go. Letting go of things that don't serve us anymore is very important. Thank you so much for joining my live. It's a Bloom. Is a Lunan. Is a Lunan. I'm pronouncing it right. Bloom. Thank you so much for joining my live. Today we're talking about letting go because we are ending 2025. We got like say 5 days left. Next week Thursday or so it's going to be the 1st of January 2026. Now, letting go is important because letting go of all that happened in this year and try and find groundings. People are unsure of what's going to happen next year. People are concerned about the changes that are going to be taking place in 2026. Please accept me. Hi, my sweetie pie. How are you doing? Hope you're doing well. You can go ahead and you can subscribe to my channel if you have not subscribed as yet. Okay? The guided asked to be accepted. How are you, my sweetie pie? Hope you're doing well. Today we're talking about releasing as we're entering the new year next week on Thursday, the 1st of January 2026. People are afraid of what's going to happen. If you go online on the spiritual channels, they're speaking about a lot of changes that are going to be happening. You understand? You know, like earlier on this year, where I was speaking about the rapture for the religious people. Okay, spiritual people know that there's an awakening going, that we actually undergoing, and there's going to be more changes happening in 2026. So the whole idea is to release the anxiety because what's coming is gonna happen in the future. We don't know what it is. We just have these assumptions and we're just kind of thinking that all things are gonna happen. Now this is what causes anxiety, the fear of the unknown, as I said right now. You need to let go of the heavy feelings of 2025 and understand that you are secure no matter whatever happens in the next year, right? You're not only surviving, you're living, you're thriving. Most people are living in survival because they're living in fear. They're living in anxiety. They're afraid of what's going to happen. They are not sure of what's going to happen, so they feel afraid. They feel like they're under attack. Anything can happen, you know, that kind of thing, and they're full of anxiety, right? So that's the problem. So now to release fear through breath work is important at work as well, to regulate your nervous system, to reset it. Now remember, there is a concept that we actually manifesting from our nervous systems. If you come from a background where you were constantly under anxiety, your nervous system is not grounded because you're always at the point of fight or fright mode because you're afraid of life, right? You're afraid what's going to happen because you were brought up in a toxic environment where there was a lot of violence. It causes your nervous system to be unbalanced. Now, those people are not able to live feeling balanced because of the trauma they went through as children. And that will be carried through to adulthood because it stays in your subconscious mind, and your body is part of your subconscious mind. Now, that's why we're having a world where people are very fearful. They're afraid to travel, to walk outside. They're afraid of being robbed. They go out jogging. They're afraid they're going to be attacked. It's because of the fact that they watch too much news. We live in a violent era. South Africa, per se, is quite a violent country itself with a lot of crime, and where there's a high unemployment because of the social economical situation, it causes people to be always feeling threatened. They're going to be attacked at any time, so they're feeling not secure. Now, that's because your nervous system is not balanced, right? As I said, the traumas of life can cause that. Even those people have never been attacked by any person, right, living in the country, right? They still feel under attack. They're going to be attacked at any time because it's all over the social media. It's all over the news, the local news and stuff like that. So that's why people get afraid. Now, letting go of the fear is very important because you cannot look forward to a best year, a great year, when our nervous systems are not balanced. We're living in fear. You constantly thinking, oh my God, 2026 is going to be a horrible year. I'm afraid all the things that are happening, all the unknowns that are going to be taking place, you get afraid. Now, fear is not a good way to live, you understand. Always worry about, oh, when it's going to happen, how it's going to happen, and all the other stuff. Because you feel that you're living in an unsafe space, an unsafe world. Now, if you look at what's been predicted so far on social media, on the spiritual channels, they're speaking about the split. The split has already occurred where people have split, so consciousness have a split between the 3D and the 5D. People in 3D are still living in that fear in that panic, feeling unsafe within themselves. Their nervous systems are not regulated, they're not balanced. Then people living in the 5D understand that change is inevitable, understand that all things have to change. Nothing's going to stay the same forever. Thank you for joining my live, sweetie pie. Is it Rebecca? Wishing you well and season's greetings to you all, guys, for the festive period. I hope that Christmas has brought you all a lot of happiness and joy, right? Hope that you all had a good Christmas lunch and had good time with your family and friends. Today we're speaking about letting go because now we are now heading towards the new year. We got like the 5 days left in this year. So now we begin the releasing process to understand that all things that don't add value to us, like fear, anxiety, shame, and all the other traumas that they went through in this year, because a lot of people went through a lot of things in this year, right? A lot of challenges in the economies, a lot of employment rocketed this year, especially in South Africa and stuff like that. So these are the things you need to understand. Letting go is important. Okay, so releasing the fear through breath work is important to regulate your nervous system. Fear isn't only spiritual, it's also physical. So fear is not only energetic, it's also physical, because it stays in your body, stays in your cells, it stays in your mind, and it controls you. It's a dysregulation of your nervous system which blocks your intuition. Now your intuition cannot be triggered when you're living in fear, right? When you're living in fear, you're living in survival, right? That's why a lot of people, they turn to religion or turn to spirituality because they want to change their lives. They come from backgrounds that's been abusive, or they were living with a partner who's abusive. So they turn to religion because they feel like they lost. They need some assistance, right? So it's not only about that. It's about you doing the inner work yourself, going for the therapy, seeing the psychologist, because in the church there's a lot of broken people. The church, religion cannot solve anything. Even spirituality cannot solve anything if you don't take that effort to help yourself heal from the trauma by going for therapy. Go to a psychologist. If you can't afford a psychologist, the cheapest option then is to get a coach, a life coach, somebody can help you in how to deal with your anxiety, and then also can help you and show you which mechanisms you actually use to help you relax your nervous system. Right? More sleep, more rest is required. And now, if you live in anxiety and you suffer from anxiety, it also affects your sleep as well, because you're feeling that, oh my God, anything can happen any time, and you're just expecting it to happen because you were brought up and you were exposed to a lot of toxic environments, a lot of violence and fear. Right now, the simple way to do it on your own is to do a breathing exercise, which I use myself. Like every single person, I've been through my own traumas in life, right? Can be big traumas, can be small traumas. Trauma is trauma, something that makes you feel unbalanced in life, unsafe within yourself, or unsafe within a certain environment, right? So you inhale for 4 counts, you breathe in for 4 counts, then you hold for 2 counts, right? Then you exhale the breath out for 6 to 8 seconds. That's 6 to 8 counts out, emptying your lungs, right? Your air system. Thank you for liking my life. I do appreciate you, sweetie pie. Right, so it's important to know that with everything, there's always a solution right now. All this information I'm giving you now is all online. If you want to know how to regulate your nervous system, how to use a simple breathing mechanism, like breathing in for 4 counts, then holding your breath in for 2 counts, and then exhaling for 6 to 8 counts, letting out that air out. Do that a couple of times, about 2 minutes or so. Do that continuously until you feel your body calm. Now, that's if you're not suffering from chronic um, anxiety. Now, in that case, you need a professional help. You need to go see a psychologist. In every community, there is a center for psychological help. I understand. Even in Durban here in South Africa, we have psychologists that can help with your government based as well, for people that can't afford private facilities. Right? While you're breathing in and inhaling in and releasing the fear, imagine exhaling all the fear as gray smoke leaving your body. Remember, everything's energy. Every thought, and every experience is all energy. So when you are breathing in for 4 counts and holding for 2 counts and exhaling for 6 to 8 counts, you must imagine in your mind you exhaling all fear as gray smoke leaving your body. Very important to know that, right? Do this every night and in the mornings, right? Every night. Now we have like 5 days left, okay, for to end this year. People are afraid of what's going to happen in 2026. Nothing's going to happen that we cannot survive or overcome. You understand? That's what I believe. 2026 will be a challenging year if we make it a challenging year. 2026 will be one if we make it a challenging year. If we tell ourselves that we under threat, that we under attack. You understand? It's like that. We need to understand that everything is in your mind, because this matrix game is always a mind game, right? So understand that you do this every single morning and every single night before you leave your home. There's some people even afraid to even go outside and go shopping and stuff like that alone. Some people afraid to go jogging alone because they feel they're going to be attacked. Now remember that as manifesting beings, people that create things with our thoughts and our belief systems, we're actually creating an unsafe world if we believing we are living in an unsafe world right now. The first thing to do is release 2025. 2025 has been a wonderful year. It has been a challenging year, but a year full of growth and understanding, especially for people working on themselves like myself. It's been a year of growth and understanding, knowing where my weaknesses and where I need to work on, things I need to work on. I don't have to be perfect because nobody's perfect, right? There's no perfection in this reality, only experience. Okay, because once you think that, oh my God, I'm not like that certain person seems to be so in control of their life and I'm not in control, then don't even lie to yourself, because there's no person living a perfect life. There's no person who's in total control of their life experience. We're all just living and learning. So if you have not as yet, go ahead and subscribe to my channel, right? My channel is about spirituality, self-awareness, and self-development, right? Being aware, understanding life, and understanding yourself as well. What makes you feel afraid? What triggers you? What makes you angry? Right? Because we need to master ourselves, right? So when you understand what your weaknesses are and what your strengths are, that's now mastering yourself, right? Now you know what to work on. You know where you need to chill and relax and be more observative and observe life instead of you criticizing life, and observe yourself as well. Instead of criticizing yourself and bringing yourself down, observe what makes you angry, what makes you happy, what triggers fear. Those type of things. You need to understand that most relationships fail because of lack of communication. Lack of communication because people are constantly getting triggered. They're constantly triggering each other as well in relationships. Now we are here for the relationships. The relationship's supposed to grow us up and expand us, because that person you're in a relationship with is normally a mirror of all your weaknesses and your strengths. Okay, so you ask yourself, why am I feeling like this when this person is saying this to me? Ask yourself, really, what is it that makes me angry? Why am I getting triggered? It's important to know that as well, right? Remember that everything is energy and you have total control of your life experience. As I said, 2026 can be a beautiful year if we allow it to be, individually and also collectively. So individually, by yourself in your home, in your little space, in your little life, how are you handling all that's going to happen in 2026? Because there will be a lot of things happening. There'll be a lot of disclosures of information that's been hidden. Right? A lot of disclosures of in the government level now. This year it was about celebrities early on, from last year ending right through with the Sean Combs story that unfolded. Right now, next year, there's going to be more political people. Things are going to come out, more things that, well, we all know that no one's perfect. This world is not a perfect place. And there's a very dark place as well in certain areas of the world, in certain people's life experiences. This world is a very dark place, and also a place of full of light as well. So now we have duality, as I always say in my lives, right? There's good things and bad things happening, right? Now you individually have to decide, where do you align yourself, to the light or to the darkness, right? Now a lot of the dark things are going to be revealed next year. Right? A lot of things will be coming out. Things are going to shock us. People even wondered that I saw this person as such an upstanding citizen in politics and everything, and now this person's involved in these things. You came up like that Einstein what you call information that came out. You understand? People are shocked to say, oh, how can these people sitting in high positions in this world, controlling governments, be involved in such things like child abuse and woman abuse and all those things? These things really happen. Thank you so much, my lovely Rebecca. Thank you so much. I love the compliment. Thank you for complimenting me. Thank you. I appreciate it. Right now, remember that what you give is what you shall receive. You give kindness and you shall receive kindness. Remember that we're all great in this world, right? We're all individually doing it and collectively, as I said, right? So whatever you are doing and thinking about this world, you are creating this world. If you feel that 2026 is going to be a year of pain and disaster and you're holding your breath for it to happen, that means you're actually manifesting it. You are bringing it to play. You're unfolding it into the reality. Now, if we can all collectively still have faith and trust that all is well, no matter whatever happens, everything's happening for our highest level of wellness, our highest purpose, right? So when bad things are being revealed, it's for our own highest purpose, because now we get to understand that in this world, all these things have been hidden and now have been exposed. You understand, like what happened with this whole R. Kelly and Sean Combs. Yeah, you see, these things are going to happen. And as I said, it's going to be unfolding again next year till 2028 and in 2030. You understand? There's a lot of things are going to be happening on the political field, environment, and also locally as well, and also internationally. There's going to be exposure and disclosure of the so-called extraterrestrials, the aliens and stuff like that, which are who have been living among us for many, many, many years. But because they're cloaking in human form, we think they're just human. Not every single person is just human here. You understand? This is something I learned like in 2017 or so. You understand that? Yes, and it's something that's just acceptable. You understand? It's something acceptable because most of them don't mean any harm to us as human beings. You understand? Yeah. So you gotta purify your energy field for the next year. Let go of 2025. Whatever happened in your personal life, whatever you observed in the collective consciousness, what happened globally, that really made you afraid, that made you feel that life is a painful place. A lot of people were disappointed with a lot of the musicians and actors when the Sean Combs story came out, right? A lot of people were disappointed when R. Kelly dramas, which has been folding on since the early 90s, that he was actually a pedophile, that he was abusing young girls and all those things. Now, it came to the peak when he was finally arrested and finally charged for all those crimes. You understand? So, yes, we live in a world where there are people who are suffering from what we call pedophilia. You understand? And it's not a new thing because even in certain religions, in certain cultures, like for example in Islamic environment as well, if you look at the history of the Muslim communities, they married children at age of 12. I mean, the 12-year-old girl will be then betrothed or married off to a wealthy old man in his 60s. This is nothing new. Okay, it's nothing new. When people see all these things, okay, or Kelly likes young girls. It's nothing new. It's happened. It's been happening for centuries and centuries. But the way we kind of checked it out, oh my God, this person is evil, all the abuses and all those things. But this is something that's happening even till today. You understand? Like just recently, I think in Nigeria, West Africa, they made it illegal for a young girl to marry at the age of 12. Right, so these wealthy men cannot take a young girl and marry them, and they were actually complaining. These older, important, influential men in West Africa were complaining about the new bill because they think that it's ridiculous. At the end of the day, apparently it says that according to their information, right, the Prophet Muhammad also married young girls and stuff like that. So, and I think one of them was youngest was age of 12 or something like that. So that's where it's coming from the religion, from the culture. Then the people sort of doing that because they say that it's best to get them in a young because they're not influenced by life, not influenced by having different relationships. They're still fresh and innocent. Now when you're taking the innocence and you're abusing it, you see, and now in this day and age, young girls need to go to school and need to get finished with their schooling and mature up before they decide they want to be wives. Instead of you taking advantage of a young girl. So these are the things that came out in this year. Things are being exposed, you understand? Yeah. So more things will be exposed in the next year. So collectively, we cannot, how would I say? We cannot deny what's happening, right? Because it is happening. It's happening on the individual level up to the collective level. So you living in your house and you think, oh my God, this world is such a bad place, such a wicked place. When you keep on saying that, now you're manifesting it to be a wicked, bad place already. So at the end of the day, you need to understand that yes, there is bad things happening, like pedophilia and all those things, right? Is happening and abuse is happening, yes, because people are using violence to solve problems. People are using violence to sort out their issues. Living in a world where, like for example, you can carry a weapon now around freely in certain states in America, you understand that kind of thing. And show we don't have to hide it anymore. Now if you're all carrying guns, what are we afraid of? What are we trying to tell the world? That yes, me, I can defend myself. From what and from who? And why would you would want to be always be under the state of, oh my God, I need to protect myself? That means you're saying the world is unsafe and then you're creating an unsafe world because you are actually believing it to be. That's how we're manifesting. We manifest with our perceptions, not with our words, not only with our words, but also with our perceptions and our actions. So yeah, I am walking around with a weapon because I need to defend myself. Okay, that means now I'm going to be attracting all people that need to defend themselves, people that are violent themselves, because I'm also in that vibration. I feel that this world is unsafe. Now, remember, I always say that God will not deny you anything that you want and anything that you believe. What you believe is what you want, right? What you believe and what you live is what you want. So if you're walking around with a weapon telling the world that you're unsafe, you're telling God, the universe, that yes, I'm unsafe, I need to protect myself. Then what happens? Situations where you need to protect yourself will now pop up because you are ready. You are telling the world, you're telling God, the universe, that yes, I'm here to protect myself. In other words, now you are pulling and attracting situations where you need to protect yourself. Altercations, arguments, road rage. You get my point. People coming out of their cars and arguing and fighting over who crossed the robots first, whose turn it was to cross the robots, all those things. Right? And you're pulling out a gun because you feel like, okay, I'm feeling attacked. Let me protect myself because you're always vigilant, you're always ready to shoot and protect yourself. Now, as I said, because you're always in that mode, you're not manifesting that environment in your reality. You understand? Now, imagine if you're all carrying weapons. It doesn't make sense. It means that we are living in a world that's unsafe. We are creating a world that's unsafe. Okay, now that's what happened in 2025. It's rolling on to 2026 as well. Okay, so we need to be ready and understand that this world has a bit of darkness. It's a world full of duality. There's variety here, right? So we need to understand that right now. A soul bath is important. This is a spiritual bath. Okay, you can use Himalaya sea salts and wash yourself. Like for example, few days before the year end, before the 1st of January 2026, you can have a spiritual bath. You can meditate. You can douse yourself, douse yourself with pepper or sage. You know what I mean. That kind of thing to remove all the old energies and as well. Forgive all those people that hurt you in 2025. I don't care how small or how big the hurt is. The point is you need to let go and release it because you don't want to enter the next year carrying all that heavy load of emotions. Release it. If you felt hurt, right, release that pain and forgive that person so you can cross over with a clear sense of self. Understanding that, yes, I will get hurt at times, but I'm not willing to let go. I'm not willing to hold on to the hurt, right? Yes, there are people that will hurt me at times. Don't have to hate them. You understand, like what Jesus did, according to the Christian Bible in the New Testament. You need to forgive those that hurt you 70 times, right? Something like that. It's all about letting go. So when you're going to do the crossover, a lot of churches do it as well, right? They have their whole nights of prayer, worship, and celebrating the end, entering the new. And you know what I'm trying to say? That kind of thing. You can also do that on your own, in your own house. You don't have to go and join the masses in the church, right? That's what I do. I do my prayer. I'm thankful, and I know that now I'm crossing over to the next year. I'm grateful for all that happened in this year. May be painful. I've learned a lot about myself and understand where I need to work on myself, where I need to be more kind, where I need to be more forgiving me, where I need to be more compassionate as well, right? Remember that there's no perfections. You're allowed to get angry. You're allowed to get annoyed. There's nothing wrong with that. People think that when you become spiritual, you don't get annoyed, don't get angry. No, you're allowed to get angry. You're allowed to get annoyed. Instead of you keeping that annoyment, that bad low frequency within yourself, express it. You understand? It's all about that. Remember that when you are a spiritual person, you're not perfect. You're still working on yourself, right? You never will get perfect because there's no perfection. You just get understanding all your weaknesses and working on your weaknesses. That's what you're doing right now, back to releasing the old. You can do a salt bath with intention, right? You can put some sage in there. Not sage, I forgot this other herb now. You can put some Himalayan salts in there. You can pray over the water as well, right? You can burn your incense like frankincense, sage, or Palo Santo as well, right? Or African herbs like impepo to cleanse your space and also cleanse your aura as well, right? You journaling out your emotional residue, all the things that happened in this year, things that made you angry, things that made you confused, things that made you fearful about life. Okay, you will journal it down. Right now, you are releasing, you're acknowledging. For you to release, you must acknowledge, right? For you to release, you need to acknowledge. You can't just release without acknowledge what happened, your part that you played in that whole event, and releasing it. It's important. Okay, these are the things you need to understand, right? So remember that the new year is going to be a wonderful year if we collectively allow it to be a beautiful year. But also, it also starts with the individual. Individually, are you deciding that next year is going to be a wonderful year? Are you grateful for all that happened? It doesn't matter. Even the bad things that happened, they happened for the reason. Remember that, as I always say, that the growth is only when you're uncomfortable, when you have a problem, when you have a challenge in life. If life is just comfortable and nothing challenging is happening, that means there's no growth. Okay, you lost a job this year, or you lost a partner this year, whatever it is, or you lost some friends this year. Remember that things happen for a reason. If you lost a partner this year, it means that the time and the reason you were together with this person has elapsed. There's nothing that actually lasts forever here, right? It's a release, in other words, for something new to come in, right? People mourn a lot about broken relationships. Broken relationships and exes and all those things. So yeah, a lot of people wanting to go back to exes instead of them understanding that everything happens for a reason and everything has a season, right? So you're with the person for a season, for a reason, you understand, or a lifetime. Okay, not very few relationships are there for a lifetime. Okay, so that means that is a soul contract that you have with that person for that lifetime, whatever it may be. Sometimes it was for the reason for you to learn something about yourself, to be able to set boundaries for yourself. Maybe it was a relationship where it was abusive. Now you're getting taught through that relationship to set boundaries for yourself, right? So now that's what it's all about, taking ownership. So you say, well, I learned a lot. I was in this job. I worked it for 5 years, whatever sort it may be. I enjoyed it. And now I've lost the job. What next? Don't see it as something negative. See it as an opportunity that, yes, I'm applying again. Hopefully next year I will get a new position, another job somewhere else where I can add more value. Your time in that company, wherever you worked, is over. It means that the value that you were adding to the company is done. The purpose for you being there has been completed. Some people think that, oh, that it should happen that I decide to leave. Sometimes it can happen that the person you get fired. It happens like that as well, that maybe the job contract doesn't get extended, or you get fired. You understand? So people look at it, oh my God, God has deserted me and stuff like that. It means it's a new opportunity to apply somewhere else. Don't ever lose hope. Apply somewhere else and don't lose hope, because there's new opportunities for every single person. You understand? It's all about a game belief. Remember that your belief system is creating everything in your reality. You understand? And people might say, but sister, how can I be creating such painful experiences? Why am I doing that? This is because that painful experience is what you were aligned to at that time. That painful experience is there to teach you something. And when that painful experience is over, it's over, meaning the lesson has been learned. It means that you took and you received what you was needed to receive from that painful experience. Not every experience in a relationship or in life is going to be a nice experience. We didn't come here for the niceness only. We came here also for the pain, for the struggle. You understand? Collectively and also individually. Okay. Now we're in a time where there's going to be a change in how we do things in the world, right? Moving to this AI drama and stuff like that, right? Meaning technology basically is now going to be like the typical type of way of living. And then they're also speaking about interaction. People, like relationships, are going to be suffering because the people are going to be talking to AI. You're going to have an AI companion, right? People will be assigned AI companions. And maybe it sounds like all exciting now, right? Because we haven't really experienced it. Now, imagine a world where people not talking to each other face to face. People don't trust each other anymore. People don't have open dialogue and connection with somebody in the physical world. You got connection with only with AI. That will definitely have a negative, what you will affect on us as human beings as well. You understand? That's why it's important to understand that we are human beings and we need social interaction. And AI cannot take the place of social interaction. And apparently, one of the predictions is that in the future, human beings are going to neglect social interaction for AI, relationships with AI instead of with human beings. You understand? That's a change that's been actually predicted, right, by a lot of spiritualist people that actually see how we actually depending more on AI, right? That kind of the people rather be on social media than talk to meet somebody for lunch or something and have a good conversation, because it's more safer when we're talking online. That means that I can pretend to be somebody else. You know what I'm trying to say, without me having that connection, a real connection with you. That's where the problem comes in. That's why we have things like when people have fake accounts and they pretend to be somebody else because they're playing out a persona that they feel is better than their own personal, real, authentic self. You see, so now because of that, now it's gonna evolve more when we start having this AI companions that's gonna come through in the next 2 years, say from next year to the next to the following years to 2028. So connecting with higher timeline in 2026, remember that you must always be willing to think of yourself getting better in life, getting better within yourself, in your life, in your relationships, in your work, in your experience in life. That's what it's all about, right? So connecting with your higher timeline, right? You're gonna be a better person in 2026. You're gonna be more enthusiastic. Your self-esteem is gonna grow right now. Instead of planning from fear, right? Think of 2026 as a year of you evolving to your highest level of self, okay? You align spiritually with the version of you who you're becoming next year. A stronger, a more confident person. A person is not afraid to speak their truth, or the authentic truth, right? What qualities do you see yourself living within in 2026? Okay. Who you want to be in the next year. Think about all the good things. Instead of thinking about the fear, think about all the things that can actually add to you in the next year, 2026. What does my 2026 self no longer tolerate? I don't tolerate bullshit and lies. I don't tolerate gaslighting. I don't tolerate people ignoring me. I don't tolerate people not abiding to my boundaries. You understand? I don't tolerate to be disrespected. in 2026. You can even tell yourself that in the eve of moving to 2026, you can now affirm after you've released all the things and you've forgiven who you needed to forgive. Right now, you can now work on, okay, like what's going to happen in 2026. You are actually creating another version of yourself, taking control. What does my 2026 self believe about themselves, right? That I'm strong, that I'm powerful, that I'm an abundant being, that I have plentiful, I can never lack, right? I'm here to thrive, not to just survive, right? You let the answers naturally rise within you. Ask yourself, the next version of myself in next year, right? Because I'm changing and I'm choosing to be this more positive person, full of high self-esteem. I choose to believe in myself. I believe in my abilities. I know that I'm a creative person. You understand? Remember that you have to be your own cheerleader in life. You have to be your own life coach as well, especially if you can't afford somebody to pay somebody to coach you to become a better person. That's why affirmations are so helpful. You understand? That's why they're so helpful. Then setting energetic intentions for the next year, very important. Instead of just goals, what are your intentions? I want to show up more for myself. I want to be more vocal for my rights and my opinions. I want to be more authentic. You understand? Goals are human levels. Goals are what you want to achieve, right? Intentions is more like the spiritual side of you. Now you want to achieve what do you want to achieve in 2026 that you haven't achieved in this year. Right? Maybe you want to write a book. Maybe you want to start a new hobby. You want to learn how to play the piano. You want to learn how to play an instrument. Focus on all the positive things in your life, and that'll allow you to spend less time on social media, right? On content that's toxic, and then also you're able to focus on your own life experience instead of you feeding from other people's narratives. Create your own narrative, own yourself, create your own narrative. That's what evolution's all about. That's what self-development is about, owning yourself, right? So may this year, next coming year, 2026, be your year of wonderful evolution. It is the year of the horse. It's year one. It's a new cycle for another 9-year cycle. Okay. So we finished this last cycle, which is this year, which is the 9th year. Next year, we start another cycle. So how would I start fresh? What do I want to become? What do I want to evolve into? You understand? Very important. Important. Setting your intentions for yourself is important, right? I choose peace. For 2026, I'm very peaceful. I don't argue with people. I don't connect to toxic people, right? These are the things that you're actually going to be affirming on the eve of the new year, which is the 1st of January 2026, right? So on the last day, 31st of December, you will be aligning and affirming, I choose peace. I choose alignment. I'm going to be aligned to all which makes my life much better, like better friendships, better connections. I'm going to be aligned to more money because I'm focused on money and making more money for the next year in 2026. I'm feeling worthy of having more money in my life experience. I choose trust. I choose to trust myself and trust in life. Everything is happening for my highest purpose, for my highest intention in life, my highest version. I am safe right here. I choose abundance. I know that I'm an abundant person. I know that all my needs are always met, right? Those type of things. Affirming. I choose clarity in my life, not confusion, but clarity. I know what I want in my life. In 2026, I'm going to achieve all the things that I want to achieve. Right now, remember that hold one intention per month for the year 2026. You can even do that. January, what are my intention for January 2026? To be brave, to be bold, okay? Brave and bold. Right now, every day you wake up in the morning and say, I'm brave and I'm bold. I'm fearless. Right? Life has so much to offer, and I'm ready to take it and experience all the wonderful blessings from divine source, from God. Right? So these are things you can practice. Right? But remember that When you're walking out of something and entering something else, you need to be very conscious of what you're entering, right? You're walking out of 2025, you're letting go of all the pain, you're forgiving other people, you're asking others to forgive you yourself. You say a prayer, you light your candle, light your incense and stuff like that. And then you meditate and say, thank you, God, for this day. I'm now crossing over to the new year with more strength, with more courage, with more positivity. Remember that, right? Then strengthen your spiritual hygiene is very important as well. Fear dissolves when your energy is stable, right? Fear releases when your energy is stable, right? Very important to know that. That fear will release when your energy is stable. Okay, it's very important to know that, right? So you can do like a weekly grounding. So on the 31st, take your shoes off. If you live in a place where there's a yard, go sit outside, right, on the grass, whatever it is, and then take your shoes off and put your feet on the ground. Now you're grounding, right? You can do a meditation for about 15 minutes or even 10 minutes or so, where you actually breathing in the earth, breathing in the energy from the earth into your body to cleanse yourself. Now, it's important to know that, right, that you can actually do all these things. You don't need anybody else to do it for you. You can do it on your own. You can either sit on the ground or you can, you know what I mean, flat on the ground, not on a chair, or you can sit on a chair and put your feet flat on the ground in your yard and breathe in and breathe out and ground yourself and say, yes, I'm grounding myself. I'm entering this new year grounded. I'm releasing all that does not serve me anymore. Grounded, barefoot, walking, or visualization, as I said, okay? Affirmations I mentioned earlier on, meditation as well. You can use meditation and also visualize like your new year, what your new year is going to be like, all the wonderful things that are going to happen in your reality in the new year, and all the wonderful things that we can collectively create in this reality. Remember that the internet has information, not only to make you afraid, but also information to inform you, to encourage you as well. So don't only look at things that are fearful. Try and, okay, those things are happening. I'm going to focus on more positive things. Tell yourself that the next year, 2026, I'm going to focus on more positive information and narratives, not only negative things about what Trump is doing and all those things. You understand? All those things that are really are created to make people ungrounded in this reality. Okay, then gratitude journal. You can also be grateful for all the 10 things that you're grateful for in this year. 10 things that you're grateful for in this year. Write them down. Now, remember, this is how you're ending your year. Okay, now, all the things I'm grateful for. I'm grateful for my relationships, my new friendships. I'm grateful for my job. I've worked so well. I'm grateful for the money that I've been earning. I'm grateful for the friendships I've forged in my workspace. I'm grateful for my opportunities. I'm grateful for, yeah, life in general. You can write everything down, right? Grateful for the new car that I purchased in this year, a wonderful new car. I'm grateful for the fact I could pay my debts, okay, if that's important to you. Remember that you're going to be focused on things that are important to you. And people are different, so not everything is going to be important to the people. You know, certain things will be important to you or not important to you, but important to me. So things we need to understand. When you are being grateful for certain things, be grateful for things that hold weight in your life. You understand, like your health, your home, your car, your job, your friendships, your talents, because everybody's gifted. Every single person has a certain talent. My ability to express myself authentically, my ability to sing beautifully, my ability to actually learn and absorb lots of information. That's a skill on its own. There's certain people that cannot do that. And there's certain people that actually can actually absorb and learn a lot of information. And they understand it very well. You understand, right? So releasing fear, the fear identity, letting it go because there's nothing to be fearful of. We're walking into 2026 more bold without any fear, knowing whatever happens, we can overcome it. We are made for this time. There are certain people, most people who were born at this time, like people who are still alive now, who are meant to be, you understand, for this experience. So we say we're going to walk into 2026 with boldness and fearlessness, right? Then what version of me is ending? Remember that version that's always worrying about in the future, that anxious person is now ending. What version of me is emerging? The strong version, of me that's emerging. Allow old identities to die peacefully. Release, as I said earlier on, we begin with releasing, allowing the old identities and the old beliefs that don't work for us to be released. This is a rebirth year for many people because it's a new cycle. So we're starting one year of the horse. Okay, now we're starting another 9 year cycle. Then you can even say to yourself, in this 9 years, I want to achieve this. These are my intentions for this year, for the next 9 years. You can do it like that, or you can do it year by year. You get my point, that kind of thing. So those are things that people don't really feel they do intentionally. They think, oh, New Year's, yeah, New Year's resolutions, and then by February you forget them. Right? You need to start intentionally thinking about them now before the 1st of January. You understand? Remember that everything that's important to you, not to your family, not to your friends, not to your crowd that you move around, what's important to you, your intentions and your goals must be based on you, not on pleasing other people. Very important to know that, right? And building trust in your path. A new year can feel scary, yes, especially with all that's been said about 2026 so far in this year already, right? So the new year can feel scary when you don't trust your direction, where you're going in life, you don't trust yourself. It's about building trust in your own direction in life, okay? Strengthened by reviewing your wins in 2025. What have you've done well in this year? What have you achieved in this year? You understand? Review them and celebrate them, okay? And then recognizing how far you've come spiritually as well, how far you've come religiously if you're into religion, okay? How far you've come from where you were last year at this time. You understand those type of things. Then affirm what is meant for me already is aligned with me. Okay, what is meant for me is aligned to me. Meaning that what is meant for me, I have it already. Nobody can take it from me. Nothing can take away what's meant for me, right? This kills the fear within you. You understand? The fear of life, the fear of the unknown, because now we are embarking into a new year. We're not sure what's going to happen in 2026, but we are creating it now with our belief systems. We are creating it now with our words, with our thoughts, with our actions. When we think about the new year, are we being full of anxiety and anxious, or are we thinking, oh my God, I'm excited for the next new year. I'm excited for achieving what I want to achieve. I'm excited because I know that God is always with me. I'm always blessed. I always have every need met. I always land on my feet. I can overcome every single challenge and struggle in life. It's all about that, right? So you gotta trust in yourself. It's very important. Letting go of all the pain of this year, whatever painful things happen in your life, forgive those people that hurt you and let go so that you can enter the next year fresh, ready for to tackle the next year, right? Which is gonna be quite challenging, right? But then again, this year was also challenging as well. But we overcame it. We overcame it, right? We actually thrived in this year. A lot of people thrived, right? Except for people that were living in the war-torn areas of this world, right? Now we've been praying for them and sending them light and love. So if you live in a world that's relatively peaceful, then you actually thrived in this year, 2025. Okay, I'm about to get finished now, right? Remember that your self-development is your business. Don't allow politics and politicians to control your life experience. You decide what's important to you. You decide which content to consume on social media. You could decide what to believe in life, okay? Because I know that every single person that's actually subscribed to my channel is over the age of 18 and above. So you're an adult. Don't make you feel like a victim because you're not a victim, right? So you will limit yourself from news at all that is all about doom, and don't doom stroll on social media looking for the worst uh information highlights of what's going on in the world. Curating your feed, be very important of what you are consuming in social media, staying away from drama content as well. You understand? Surrounding yourself with high frequency people and content is important, especially coming into the next year, 2026. It's going to be a roller coaster year a lot of highs and a lot of lows collectively, right? That means that even individually it's going to be the same thing. So we need to be ready for the next year, but be as positive as possible. Practical digital minimalism, being minimalism, meaning not consuming too much and not buying too much digital things like uh, the latest iPhones. If you can't afford it, you can't afford it. Okay, it's basically what it is. Use the necessary things, right? We call it to be things that are not too much, basically, right? Because sometimes we can go overboard, especially people that are tech savvy. They like to buy devices and stuff. Think about being practical, right? When it comes to technology, be practical. What are you using the item for? You got an iPad, it's fine. Do I need a laptop, an iPad, and a phone? I only just need a phone for phone call. I need the iPad maybe to do some research, whatever. Or rather, I prefer a laptop and a phone instead of having every single thing. It's all about being aware of these things, because remember that the electricity emitments on these devices are not really healthy for us, for our body. So it's important to think about that as well. Digital hygiene, as I call it, digital hygiene. Perform New Year in energetic ritual, reset rituals, okay? Like lighting your candles. Write down everything that you are releasing in 2025. Burn or dispose paper safely. You get my point? You write it down, because we always say spiritually, when you write something down and burn it, it's a spiritual way of you releasing. So you got to do that very safely. You understand? Don't just burn something and it becomes a problem. You end up hurting yourself or hurting somebody else, or burning some property. No, you got to be very matured about it, right? So place your hand on your heart and speak out loud. I enter the next year, 2026, with clarity, confidence, divine protection over myself and my family. Fear has no power over me. Right? So I repeat, you will say, I enter 2026 with clarity, confidence, and divine protection over myself and my family. Fear has no power over me. There's nothing to be afraid of. You understand? There's nothing to fear. Then visualize your new timeline in 2026 opening like a doorway of light, with full of light. So it's a doorway of light. So may this year coming be a year of light for every single person. May you'll experience light in the next year, 2026. Okay. Then visualize your new timeline opening into the doorway of light, right? And you're entering in that doorway of light, and then sit in silence for 1 to 3 minutes, thanking God for your blessings, that you actually had your opportunity. You are alive. A lot of people have paused in this year and never get to see the crossover, right? So next week, remember that when you're crossing over, gratitude is very important. You're thanking God for carrying you and your family through the year 2025, and now you're entering the year full of light, which is 2026, a new cycle, the year of the horse, year one, a new cycle of the 9 years that are going to be unfolding. You understand? Yeah. The ritual that you actually will do is something you're going to do consciously. It's all about frequency, understanding. Okay. What does it mean to end this calendar year spiritually? Number one, most people end the year with unfinished emotions sometimes, unconscious trauma still stored within them in a memory bank, resolving experiences, okay, unresolved experiences, without resolving those experiences. That's the trauma that you're packing for the next year. Your brother disappointed you, somebody hurt you, you're still carrying it over to the next year. What are you doing? You're carrying heavy emotional experience energies, instead of you saying, okay, I understand it, you hurt me, and that experience hurt me, but I choose to let go. I choose to release it. That's going to help you. That's not for that other person's, for you. You let go. It's important to know that we need to release unresolved experiences. Okay, sometimes you don't get closure. That's the whole thing. Sometimes you don't get closure. You need to accept what is at this moment. And this happens a lot in relationships. A person breaks up with you after a 5-year relationship, and there's no closure. And you're seeking closure, and that person's moved on already. And here you are seeking closure. You need to give yourself the closure. You can't expect that person to give you that closure because that person probably doesn't have the ability to give you that closure. I don't feel it's important. Yeah, you're seeking closure. So you got to give yourself that closure. So I remember that when you are getting yourself ready to cross over to the new year, you're actually giving yourself closure to 2025. Whatever happened in this year, you're leaving it behind. So you're moving into the light, which is 2026. Now remember, that's also a choice as well. If you want it to be a year of light, or do you want to have it a year of confusion and frustration, it's up to you. And remember, my channel is about intentional awareness. You've got to be intentional about everything, okay? Now you're releasing survival patterns. You don't have to survive anymore. You can thrive. You are safe. You are safe, right? You're releasing the guilt and the shame and the regrets and the fear as well. Ending the year spiritually means ending energetic story of the year. You're now ending at all the disappointment. Oh my God, I never get that promotion. I'm so disappointed. It's okay. You have the next year to work towards your promotion. Don't give up. Just release it and say, well, it didn't happen this year. But I know that's going to happen next year. I'm open to it. I'm looking forward to it. I'm willing to work towards my promotion. That's how it works. Maybe never get a job this year and you're looking for employment, you know that next year is even a better opportunity. I'm going to do more research. Maybe I need to tweak my CV. Maybe I need to learn how it really works. Maybe I need to also prepare myself for every interview, that kind of thing. You understand? Yeah. So that's how it works when you let go and understand I can do better. So 2026 is about being better. It's about being a better person. It's not about regretting. It's about you being a better person. And remember that we are creating our own realities. Everything we are believing about 2026 will create that year. Everything that we're saying about that year will create that year, both collectively and both and also individually as well, right? So in closing, let me close now my life, guys. In closing, whatever was meant to be learned, released, or healed in this year in 2025 is acknowledged and allowed to end. I learned my lessons. I learned more about myself, and now accept all that happened in this year. I now release it with love, clearing energetic residue. Low frequency energy like fear, bitterness, exhaustion, heartbreak, self doubt, and disappointment is cleared, so it doesn't allow you to follow into the new year. You don't want the disappointment, the heartbreak, the self doubt, the exhaustion, the bitterness to carry through into the new year. You want to release it now, resetting the soul. Reset your vibration so you can step into the new year with peace, alignment, clarity, clear spiritual space within yourself. Remember that you are a space, I'm a space. Okay? All right. So clearing yourself basically. Open channel for intuition, right? Restoring connection to a purpose. I have a purpose in life. One of the main purpose I have in life is to teach others, to be happy, myself personally, to accept things that I cannot change, and to change things that I can change. That's my purpose. My purpose is to serve others with love, to teach and uplift others as well, and allow myself to be also uplifted as well. Being open to learn new things because no one is perfect, right? So reclaim your power, okay, for the new year. You take back your energy in every place where you released it as well. You can do that. I call back my energy from every person, every situation, every circumstance that way I left it in 2025. Every experience that has been painful, I claim back my power and my energy, knowing that I am divine consciousness having a human experience, right? So now, let us enter the new year with a lot of positivity. It's up to us because that's how we're going to create a positive future, by us being positive. The future will not be positive until we are positive. The future will not be full of light if we're not full of light. Individually, also collectively. Forget about the problems. The problems are part of life. Forget about the traumas about life, because yes, there are people that came for the traumas. Right now, you decide what are you wanting in 2025. What are you moving into the next year? Right? May the year 2026 bring you a lot of peace and wellness, right? May the next year bring you favor. May you have joy and peace for the next year. And remember that you are a divine being. You are a divine being and you can do nothing wrong. You can do nothing wrong. Thank you, Benson from Canada. Thank you for joining my live. Love you. I hope you're doing well. Right, I'm just about closing now. Okay, I'm speaking about letting go of 2025 and walking into 2026. Right, being more bold and brave, being more positive. Remember, as I said, I'll say it again, the next year can only be a blessed year if we feel it's going to be blessed. If we feel it's going to be a painful, traumatic experience, and it's going to be so, collectively and also individually. Remember, individually, it's your personal belief system, your personal choices. Now, remember that your personal choices, your personal beliefs, worldview affects the collective. It affects the world in itself. So you are saying that the world is a bad place, right? Because you're experiencing bad things in your life experience. The world has bad things happening, yes, but it's not necessarily a bad place. It's a place of duality, a place with very different things happening, both good or bad, okay? So if we can say that yes, God, I'm ready to step into the next year, 2026, and I'm happy for what happened in 2025, for my personal growth. I'm sad because certain people were killed in wars. I send my light and love to them, but I'm now deciding to be positive and optimistic for the future of this world. You understand? If we're going to condemn this world, we're actually condemning it to hell, and it's going to be a hellful experience because we are collectively creating the world and also individually creating our own world experiences, as I said, and then our own world experiences pull into the collective experience. That's how it works, right? So may the next year bring you peace and love, guys. And if you have not as yet, go ahead and subscribe to my channel, right? Subscribe to my channel for those that have not. I'm building my numbers. Mr. Play is it CR7 Play? No, I'm not Zulu. I am mixed breed, what they call colored, but I'm not Zulu, but I can speak Zulu as well. And I love the culture, the Zulu and the Xhosa culture. My mom is actually Xhosa, and I am living in KZN, which is a Zulu area, but I get along with every single person because I'm mixed race, as they call it, right? Colored. So I love every single person. I think that people are beautiful, right? They're not bad people. It's just people that choose some not so nice things to do or say, but there's no bad people in this world. Okay, so guys, have a great um week further, and remember that your entering of 2026 is all a mind game. What you think is going to happen in your world will happen. What you think is going to happen collectively will happen. If you think this place is a miserable place, it's going to be a miserable place. You understand? It's not a miserable place, a place with diversity, contrast, as they call it. Okay, so have a great week further, guys, and season's greetings for all those that join me later on, okay, in my life. Guys, have a great week further, and remember that you are light, you are love, and choose light and love above all things. Love yourself and love your neighbors, right? Okay, and have empathy for each other because there's no perfect person, right? Ciao, guys. Bye.